Hi guys, this is Brad Wood. I have another quick screencast today to show you a new feature in CommandBox 4.2.0, which is the ability to have a generic progress bar in your task runners and custom commands. And while we're here, I'll show you how to download files in a nice pretty way using the progressible downloader. First of all, we have the docs. This is out here under commandbox.dordosbooks.com. Under task runners progress bar, we have docs and examples on the progressible downloader, and then of course the generic progress bar. So let's jump in. I have prepared for us a task runner. As task CFC, we have two things injected, the progressible downloader component, which is responsible for actually downloading the file, and then a progress bar component, which will be drawing the progress bar of a screen. Only really one line happening here. We have the download method on the progressible downloader component. We give it the file we wish to download, the local file path we wish for it to be saved to, and then there's a status closure which gets executed every few kilobytes worth of the download to update the progress bar. So let's run this and take a look at it in the command line. Here we see the progress bar is drawn automatically. It shows the number of megabytes downloaded as well as the speed, which is about 6 to 7 megabits per second here on my Google Fiber. So that's the progressible downloader. It's pretty easy to use, and you can drop this into any kind of task runner or custom command that you're doing to make it just look a little bit nicer. It also has the feature of being able to cancel it by hitting Control-C, which is great. If you just do a normal CF HTTP call, you won't be able to cancel it as easily. Okay, so let's dive into the generic progress bar. Here's a task runner here, which is doing something very simple. We have a source directory and a target directory. I've loaded up our source directory with about 250 files and folders of just random things. And we're just doing a directory copy, copying the directory from one folder to another. When we run it, it runs. Nothing much to see though. Let's see what we can do to give our users some feedback about the copying as that happens. So the first thing we can do is we can get a count of the files that are being downloaded. Not downloaded, that are being copied rather. And we'll do that with directory list, do a recursive check, grab a length on that, and at the end we can go ahead and let the user know that X number of files and folders were copied. So let's take a quick look at what this looks like. Run the task, there we go, 249 files and folders copied. So let's get this progress bar in here. The progress bar we can get again by injecting a component into our CFC. We will inject the progress bar generic component, and we'll just reference it as progress bar. And there's really only two methods on this guy. There's an update method, which we call and pass in a percentage minimally. So I'll just initialize this with a percentage of 0. This will kind of draw it out to the screen. When we're done, the progress bar automatically clears when we hit 100%, just in case our counts are off. For some reason, we'll go ahead and clear it at the end, just in case. And then to update it while we're downloading, we're going to tap into the filter closure we can provide to directory copy. And this closure returns true or false that aside if whether not each file gets copied. And I'm just going to always return true, so we don't affect the actual directory copy, but we can run some logic in here while we're at it. So we're going to calculate the percentage as an incrementing count. Let's go ahead and initialize this count variable up top as 0. There we go. So count starts at 0. Every time we get to a file or folder, we increment that. Our percentage is simply the current count divided into the total files times 100 and rounded to the closest integer. And then we update the progress bar. And so we can pass in the current percentage, the current count, and the total. Let's take a quick look at this. We run it. There we go. It runs pretty quick. I'll run it a couple times so you can see it. But the progress bar zooms along. We have percentage on the left, and we have the files counting up on the right. So that's actually really pretty easy. There's only those two methods. There's just update with whatever the current percentage is, and then clear if you want it to go away. So let's take this one quick step further, and let's go ahead and toss in an interactive job, which is new in CommandBox 4. I'm going to inject the interactive job component and just reference it as job. So at the top of our CFC, before we start copying, we're going to do a job start. This tells interactive job. We're going to start. The name of the job is copying files, and I'm going to go ahead and show 15 lines of logging information, just since I think it looks a little bit better in this instance. When we get down to the bottom, we'll go ahead and mark the job as complete, so it clears itself from the screen, and then we're going to add a line inside of our closure here, job add log, and I contains the path of the file being copied. So let's go ahead and run this. And now, in addition to the progress bar, we see the list of the files. I'll do it again. Let's see the list of the files and folders scrolling past 15 lines at a time in our job. And of course, when we're done, we have this nice little job output, copying files as shown as completed, and then there's the output we had at the bottom. And then, of course, we also have the ability to go ahead and hit Control-C somewhere in the middle, and it's going to tidy itself up. It'll mark the job as errored out, and it will go ahead and cancel our task. So that's it. Pretty straightforward. This is just kind of a simple example of a place you could use a progress bar and or an interactive job. As you can see, the jobs work nicely with the progress bars. They render the progress bar down there at the bottom while the job scrolls output through. So be thinking of some clever places in your task runners and your custom commands that you can add some user interactivity, kind of give the user more feedback as to what's actually going on behind the scenes. And until next time, you guys all have a good one.